Hello, my name is Carlos Urban, and I'm a photographer. This is a reaction video to the new iPhone 16 and the iPhone 16 Pro Max. And as you can see, I'm a Nikon shooter, so I'm going to be comparing two Nikon cameras. So, again, this is for people that are thinking that maybe it's time to get rid of your camera and just use the iPhone. So I think, again, at a very high level, I'm gonna say that it depends. It depends what you shoot. It depends what you do. Okay. Um, the number one reason why I'm gonna say that the iPhones, and obviously I have one. I have the 16, I have the 15. It's very limited is because the two things that make amazing photos, okay, is lighting, okay, and lenses. And lenses, like for example, they show a macro there, and just to show you what a real macro is, okay, this is a real macro. Okay, it's not a little frog, is or something like this. Okay, so they're macros and they're macros. And this is taken with a macro lens, which, by the way, macro lenses are not that expensive. So again, just because I found it interesting how, little frog and it's a macro. Well, yeah, it. Look, it's very impressive that you can do that with a phone. I think for the phone, it's awesome. And again, I'm just showing you some examples so you see the difference, right? The same thing when it comes to long lenses. So if you're shooting sports and you're shooting, or something like this, like a concert. By the way, this was taken a long time ago with my old camera, okay? My old camera, but, this is something, and I was very, very far, okay? So this was 300 millimeter 2.8. So these are the type of things that are really difficult to do unless you have the correct lens. So, but let's talk about what are some of the things that are really impressive about it. And by the way, I love my iPhone to take very quick snapshots of things, and also, when you have the right lighting conditions, photos are going to be fine. If you take a picture outside with perfect lighting and static, no movement, and so on, and it's not far away, yeah, it's gonna come out fine, and especially now that you have 48 megapixels, but it's 48 megapixels if you don't zoom. So let's talk a little bit about the specifications compared to a camera. So here I'm showing the different cameras. So you can see from the high end, the Z9, which is the one that I have, all the way to a $2,000 camera. By the way, even the lowest version of the mirrorless cameras is more than the iPhone. So again, this is not for people that are thinking, should I buy an iPhone or should I buy a camera? This is for people that are thinking, well, maybe I don't need to buy a regular camera at all. Again, it depends. So let's look at some of these things. Okay, so you have 48 megapixels, fine. I guess the default lens is 24 millimeters. This is usually 24 millimeters is usually what you shoot for almost wide angle. So this is actually not a good default. The best default would be 50 millimeter because 50 millimeter is like your regular eyesight. Okay, 1.8 aperture. So the least expensive lens that you can buy is 1.8. Okay, so if let's go over here, lenses. I don't even know if they came out with a 1.8 for mirrorless because most people don't want them anymore. Everybody's looking for 1.2 or 1.4. Okay, so let's see. uh, 50 millimeter. They're usually not expensive. 20, so here, 28, 2.8. This is what this is. 24, 28, close enough. This is $229. Okay, so this is not uh, the equivalent of a good lens at all. The other thing is it goes down to 12 megapixels when you use the telephoto. And the telephoto is 52. It goes from 22 to 52. 52 is the regular. It's actually like the shortest lens. So again, for close distances seems fine. 12 megapixels. I used to take a lot of great pictures with 12 megapixels. Again, the megapixels are really important if you're going to print large prints, or and most people is for their phones. 12 megapixels for the phone is perfectly fine. With 12 megapixels, you can print 8.5 by 11, and it looks great too. 48 megapixels, ultra wide, so 13. Okay, yes, I agree. 13 is ultra wide. So usually, wide angle is like so the wide angle zoom, to give you an idea, is usually for here it is 14 to 24, 2.8. That's a $2,000 lens. So 13 millimeters 2.2, that's actually pretty good. So for the wide angle, again, which would be good for landscape, that seems pretty good. What is it? 1 point, sorry, I got 2.2. That's actually not that good. Look at this. This is 24, 1.6, $279. Uh, okay, but again, for landscaping is fine. You don't need in landscaping for the most part, unless you're doing like stars. Usually you don't shoot so wide that you need 2.8. Image stabilization, that's standard now in all lenses, 5 times optical. So this is interesting. Okay. I would have to see how it looks and how the pictures come out. Digital zoom you don't want to use. Digital zoom looks really pixelated, but 5 times optical, that's pretty good. So 24 times 5 is like 120. That's not considered a zoom. It's not 120. Look at this, $1,000, 24 to 124. This is 2.8. But again, look, I'm comparing to a camera. For a phone, it's pretty impressive. I have to say, of course, it's impressive. Sapphire crystal lens cover. I don't even know what that means. Usually, these lenses are very, very high quality, and I've never heard sapphire. I mean, if we look at a top of the line lens, which would be something like this, right? So it's a $2,000 lens. Again, this is for short lens. The long lenses are a lot more. And we click learn more. I don't know, I've never heard that there is all sorts of different coding on the lens. And so this type of thing, this is impossible to do, I think, with a phone. I'm trying to see the coding. Sapphire, I haven't heard of sapphire. But again, sometimes they make a more nanocrystal coating. This is or arneo coating. This is a new thing. Nanocrystal coating. This is usually for the professional lenses. What else? Camera control. I don't know what that means. I guess that's the feature that allows you to change the aperture with that button. My God, even the most basic point and shoot had that for a long time. So it was time that they had it. A customizable default lens. Okay, so I guess you don't have to have it in 24. You can have it on something else. Adaptive true tone flash. So one of the biggest issues with phones is the flash. Okay, because look at this. Look how tiny it is. Okay, in order to get a picture, let me show you. In order to get a really good portrait picture, you need a big light. Look, this is the flash that I usually use, and that's not big enough. In order to do something like this, okay, so let's go over here. So this is three strobes, okay, with different modifiers and all sorts of things. It's a beauty dish, okay. Um, so again, flash is actually one of the biggest issues, and I wish they had some way to put an adapter, wireless, so you can have a decent flash. By the way, decent flashes are not that expensive, or that you can trigger, some of the strobe lights. People have strobe lights. Again, you don't, it doesn't, they don't have to be like super expensive, but this is actually the biggest problem with, and I'll be honest with you, I always turn off the flash on my iPhone because what it does is it ruins the picture. They actually make it worse. Okay. Okay. What else do we have here? I have no idea what photonic engine means. Deep fusion, smart HDR. All cameras now come with HDR. Next generation portrait focus depth control. So these are the things I get now with computational photography. Again, the reason, so in order to get, let me see, I'm trying to see here, like depth of field that is basically, again, for not technical or non-photography people, so that you blur the whole background. You need 50 millimeter 1.2, or well, here you can see my image, and by the way, I'm just using the camera that comes in the computer. Oh, look at this. You see over here, and I'm not going to play the video. Look at the size of these light boxes, okay? And the bigger the light source, the softer is on the skin, okay? So my point is, so this type of thing, this depth of field, you really need, very wide lenses, right? So you have this is, again, but you know what? I have to say, um, it's good. It's better than having no ability to blur the background. Uh, yes, it looks good. Red eye correction, this is something that, I don't know, red eyes hasn't been an issue in a long time. Burst mode, this is a problem. So it's not the same that when you have a camera that takes 20 or 30 frames per second. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. Look at this. Look at this beautiful picture. You cannot do anything even close to this with with an with an iPhone. This is 2.8, probably at 70 millimeters. It's not only that it's blur, it's the quality. It's what is called in photography bokeh. Okay, and this is why you pay the big bucks. This is a $2,000 lens, and if it were, this is 24 to 70. So if you're talking 400 millimeters f4, it's like $10,000. So you kind of get what you pay for. Sports. Have you ever seen anybody in the Olympics or any sports event using an iPhone? You never will. They will always use well, maybe, never say never, right? Now, photo geotagging, most software does that already. They all have GPS built in. Formats. It's actually disappointing that you don't have RAW. RAW is what photographers usually prefer the format to be, so that you have full capabilities to do all the editing using Lightroom and Photoshop, which, by the way, the the iPhone app is not too bad. So bottom line is, I'm not impressed at all with this camera. For somebody who's not a photographer, or who doesn't take photography that, let's say, is under adverse conditions, so low light like this one, or sports or action, So for example, you see these birds flying. I mean, this is something that is just impossible to do with 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 an iPhone. The other thing is when it comes to wildlife, when are you going to get so close to a gorilla like that, right? So this is why you need the long lenses, right? This is these birds are almost they fly so quick that if you get one good shot, then you're in shape. And then on top of that, you need a long flash so that this one needs a little bit more light. So again, uh, my point is no. If this is great, snapshots, friends, having lunch, having dinner, maybe with the kids if you're nearby, and you're not taking like a soccer game or, a soccer game again. The issue with a soccer game is because you have so many kids, you really want to blur the background because that's the whole purpose of sports photography. You don't want, all this stuff in the background, right? Uh, and then, the good thing is I'm gonna have a chance to test it, right? So when I go to the game, so all of these obviously were taken with a camera. There is no way I can do anything like this with any phone. Look, this was taken in 2011, so this is almost 15-year-old technology. This is not even the cameras of today. This actually was taken with a camera that shot like 7 frames per second. Now they shoot 30 frames per second. Now, why do I still think that I may buy the iPhone Pro or even probably no, I'm not sure if probably the Pro Max. It does. One of the things that I notice is I have the 15, the regular one Pro, and it does help to have a bigger screen. What I love is I hate carrying my camera for video. I'm not a videographer, I'm more of a still photography, and I love my iPhone when it comes to video. It's just so easy. It does everything, in very light. I just put it in my um, travel tripod. I have now the Rhodes wireless um, mics, and just with not too much of a light source, just a regular light, um, I get what I want. Now, again, I'm not a videographer. I'm not shooting a video, for MTV. Well, I don't know. I guess it's not MTV anymore. I guess now everything goes on YouTube. You know what I mean? I'm not shooting something. And what I love about it is usually if it's a quick video, I can just edit it right there on the phone. So I use video mostly for social media. And when I say social media is just posting short videos. And the trend now is the quality of the video is not that important. If you're gonna post something on TikTok, you can get millions of views, and nobody cares. If you share it with your iPhone, it's actually almost more authentic, and which is something that is important when you're shooting, let's say, a video of somebody speaking on TikTok and so on. Well, that's a different subject. So will I buy the iPhone 16 Pro Max? I need to think about it. I really need to see if the video is significantly better to what I have. The other thing is I'm not impressed at all with the AI capabilities. There is so many apps that you can download on your phone that have really good AI capabilities. Yeah, so what if it finds the, the email for me real quick? It actually bothers me when the phone with the iPhone starts correcting my stuff. My point is the AI capabilities, I'm not impressed either because everything that they show you can do with free software. okay, with the free version of Copilot, even what's already incorporated into most apps. I mean, Snapchat has its own AI capabilities, Instagram has its own AI capabilities. They all have their own AI capabilities. And yeah, I think that for somebody who doesn't or has never used any AI apps, maybe have it on your phone, again, very user friendly. I would have to see. I mean, that's really the main. And by the way, I don't even know if the new, um, operating system, iOS, that is coming out already has some of that AI capability. So I would have to see. So for now, um, I'm not sure if I'm gonna upgrade my phone. I really don't. Definitely the pictures, no. But I need to see more close. Again, this was more about the pictures. I need to see more closely the differences in the video. I'm actually quite happy with the video clips that I take with my phone right now. So, we're in the 20-minute mark. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, this is just my personal opinion. I haven't tried it. Usually, what I like to do is once it's in the store, the easiest thing to do is you have your iPhone, you have the new one, take some pictures and see if you see any difference. Okay? You can take a selfie with both and see if you can see any difference. And if you don't see any difference, then you probably don't want to trade in your iPhone. Even if you don't have the 15, the 14, I had the 14, and the 14, you know, is almost the same as the 15. So again, I now what I'm trying to do is probably skip a couple of two or three generations. This one doesn't seem to be for me a huge release. By the way, I'm talking about, again, this is photography. Maybe for gaming and all other things, it's a little different. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like videos about photography, there is many videos that I have on YouTube about tutorials, and I'm gonna be making more videos on how to, get the most out of your iPhone for photography. So please subscribe and like this video if you liked it, and most importantly, leave your comments. I always answer, okay? As long as you're not insulting me. No, but I mean, yes, just leave your comments, what you think, your thoughts. And maybe you disagree with me and you tell me the reasons, and maybe I change my mind. So thanks again. I hope you enjoyed this video.